Hello and welcome to the 2020 World Language Honor Society induction ceremony. It's my pleasure to be the first to congratulate all of you on your wonderful success in learning the foreign language that you've chosen. Here at St. Xavier, we are all about the graduate at graduation and the characteristics of being intellectually competent and open to growth. In fact, I don't believe that there's anything academically that can cause you to be open to growth more than learning a language that is not quite yet your own. It stretches you in ways that other subject areas just can't. Learning how to think in a new way that might not necessarily be natural to you, to take on pieces of other cultures and to create cultural understanding is a wonderful thing. We also need students and leaders in this world that are religious, loving, and committed to justice. We want to bring about God's kingdom here on earth, a kingdom that is characterized by generosity, love, and peace. Not peace as the world gives, but peace as the Lord would give, where we really do take care of one another and love one another with all of our hearts. You're well on your way of creating that cultural understanding by being so dedicated to learning the language of another. In tonight's ceremony, we're going to be hearing from DJ Hammett, who is a former student of mine and a financial analyst. He was very active in languages while he was here at St. Xavier, and as a young man right out of St. X, he and some friends began a language company, and he'll be talking a little bit more about that as the time is appropriate. We will have a time where students will be reading the pledges for the individual ceremonies, and there will be a moment where you'll need to respond, and we'll let you know how to do that when that moment arrives. So thank you very much for joining us with this virtual ceremony, and I wish you all the best.
Buenos dias, bonjour, guten tag, ni hao, salve. Hopefully I got all the languages there. Hello everyone, my name is DJ Hammett and I'm a 2015 St. X grad. Man, it's hard to believe that it was 5 years ago that my friends and I last walked the halls of St. X as students. I try not to think about how old I feel at 23. But I want to start by congratulating all of you on your induction into the Foreign Language Honor Society. In 2014, I was in your shoes for this ceremony. It's admirable that so many of you have strived to continue the legacy, and I know that you'll go on to accomplish great things. Today, I want to talk to you about my language journey and how foreign languages have impacted my life thus far. As a kid in a bilingual household, my parents will tell you I preferred English for most of my upbringing. Growing up, my mom was constantly and almost annoyingly pushing me to keep up with my Spanish, which I didn't see a point in pursuing. I remember before I was allowed to go out and play with friends, I had to run through a full deck of 100 Spanish flashcards, and more often than not, I would just get tired of it and decide to not even go outside. But when I started middle school, I enrolled in mandatory introductory Spanish class. Much to my surprise, it quickly became my favorite subject. Even though most of the class was basic review, I enjoyed being able to contribute to class and assist my fellow classmates with difficult concepts and actually learn Spanish in an enjoyable way. I even asked my parents for a Spanish tutor, not because I was struggling, but because I wanted to learn more. I downloaded dozens of language learning tools, like Rosetta Stone and Duolingo, to keep up with my intrigue. And I even dabbled in other languages, like French, Hebrew, Dutch, and Russian. I know what you're thinking, I was a pretty weird kid. And by the time I started at St. X, I couldn't wait to choose my language courses. And during my time there, I studied Spanish, French, and German. And though I would have wanted to study more, I'm sure the World Language Department was tired of seeing me all the time. I served as president of the Spanish Club, participated in French and Spanish Club, and tutored in those languages as well. And during the summer of my junior year at St. X, I went on the mission trip to Monte Sinai in Ecuador, which still reigns as one of the most rewarding experiences in my life. Aside from the humbling exposure to ice-cold showers and beds draped with mosquito nets, the interactions with the Monte Sinai residents proved to be the most formative. I often reflect upon the time we journeyed to Casa Don Bosco, which is a shelter and school for young boys whose families were unable to care or provide a safe environment for them. When we arrived at the school, dozens of elementary-aged kids ran up to us, so excited to see their American visitors. As we each introduced ourselves, I looked around and noticed that the kids were strangely fixated on me. You see, nearly all the kids at Don Bosco were of African descent, and I realized that out of my St. X peers, the kids were stunned to see someone who looked like them arrive from America. After introductions, we went off to spend time with the kids, and rather than play soccer like they normally do, a majority of them huddled around me, so eager to ask me their questions, like, "Are you really with them? Like, you're a part of this group? Is this a joke?" I was surprised that they were so interested, but as I listened to their questions, I realized that I was able to share and expose them to a different world than what they had imagined. These kids didn't understand how someone who looked like them was able to be fortunate enough not only to live comfortably in America, but to also have been afforded the same opportunities as my peers. I'm glad to have been able to answer their questions without the need of a translator, and I realized firsthand that language is not just a hobby or an academic study, but a bridge that allows us to forge connections. And in the spirit of the Grad at Grad, it allows us to be open to growth as we can expand our view of the world. I hope that through our interactions at Don Bosco, I was able to leave the kids with the knowledge that their future is not defined by their past, and that they can achieve anything that they put their minds to. Also at St. X, I took advantage of the Barcelona exchange program and loved it so much I actually went twice. By staying with the host family and attending a Catalan school, I truly felt what it was like to be a Spanish teenager. Rather than explore the city as a tourist, I was able to experience the daily life in Spain, like shopping for groceries at the local market, and hanging out with friends in the famous Park Güell after classes, and spending Easter with the extended family eating dinner until midnight. Now, 5 years later, I've gone back to Barcelona 5 times, and I still talk to my host families. And my host brother is one of the closest friends I have to this day. For the last few years, he's actually come back to Cincinnati to spend Thanksgiving with us. And he'll even attend UC next year for his master's program, so he can be close to us, his American family. Barcelona has truly become my second home, and I can't imagine not being willing to step out of my comfort zone to experience life in a different country. Some of my favorite music now is even sung by Spanish and Catalan artists. When I go there, I don't feel like a tourist or a visitor. I can hit up old friends, navigate through the city without directions, and can even tell you where I believe is the best place to get some quality paella. And by the time I was ready to graduate from St. X, I already knew that I wanted to dedicate myself to lifelong language learning. And as Mr. Lamping mentioned, a few of my friends felt the same way, which led us to create the foreign language platform called Accent.ai. We understood how frustrating it can be to learn a language. While immersion is arguably the most effective way to learn one, we knew that not everyone was able to have the immersive experiences that we've been exposed to. So we decided to introduce the next closest thing: language learning through virtual reality. Even though we eventually decided to not pursue our startup, my experience afforded me with much insight into how I can use language to help others in the future. As I continued to foster language study in college, I branched out a bit, took a few courses in Italian, Portuguese, German, and Chinese throughout my 4 years. And in lieu of studying abroad, I actually spent a summer working in Paris as an accounting intern for a medical software company. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was pretty good at French until I started there. In a French monolingual office with continuous business and technical jargon, it was overwhelming at first, to say the least. But as I'm sure you all know, when it comes to learning new languages, it's important to not get discouraged about making mistakes. I'd say that with this mindset, I rose to a whole new level in my French language ability. Then when it came time to decide what I wanted to study in college, I started out believing that I wanted to be in the medical field. But after about 1 year of constant all-nighters, grueling exams, and disappointing grades, I did what I'm sure most of you will probably do in college. I realized that what I wanted to do probably isn't for me. And after trying biomedical engineering, biology, and systems engineering, I finally decided to harness my interest in language, which led me to switch my major to linguistics. Now, the first question I'm always asked when I tell people I study linguistics is, wow, how many languages do you speak? Believe it or not, linguistics has nothing to do with speaking many languages. In fact, most of my professors really only knew English. In linguistics, you study the aspects of how language works, such as how individual sounds are made, how sentences are formed, how we derive meaning of words, and how language influences the way we see the world and interact with others. I'd say one of the coolest subfields in linguistics is computational linguistics, which is the intersection of linguistics and artificial intelligence. By programming algorithms, computational linguists are able to teach computers natural language processing, or NLP, which has made popular virtual assistants like Siri and Amazon Alexa even possible. Through my linguistics studies at WashU, I was fortunate enough to do research with world-renowned professors, looking into phonological stress patterns in rare dead languages, and optimizing algorithms for computers to replicate NLP. But one professor in particular that I worked with continues to inspire me every day. One of the most famous sociolinguists in the country, Dr. John Baugh from Stanford University, introduced me to linguistic profiling and language discrimination, which are fields he founded. Dr. Baugh has dedicated his life to justice by helping us recognize our own bias in others' language backgrounds, emphasizing the fact that we are prone to make assumptions of others solely based on how they speak. He's widely commended for his work in housing discrimination, where he demonstrated that the way one speaks alone can adversely impact their housing options. He continues to work to expose how language bias persists in the political and justice system, and is consulted in numerous legal cases, where he has, more often than not, played a significant role in exonerating those who have been misrepresented based on their linguistic background. But the achievements and opportunities that I've experienced would not have been possible without St. X. I'm extremely grateful for the fantastic instruction of the World Languages Department, especially this engaging Senora Turner, the knowledgeable Senor Lamping, the fun-loving Frau Jackson, and the kind-hearted Madame Bourgeois. These great teachers invigorated my interest in learning languages, probably even more than they realize. While I know this isn't how you imagine the school year to end, I challenge you all to take advantage of your free time productively. My mentor recently asked me, DJ, what are you doing each day to develop yourself personally? And honestly, I didn't really have an answer. But after some thought, I decided to make the goal to keep up my language skills by listening to at least one news podcast every day in the languages that I know. Now I pose this question to you. What are you doing each day to develop yourself personally? With summer right around the corner, rather than scroll endlessly on Instagram and Snapchat, try to dedicate yourself each day to learning something new. But in the meantime, I commend you all for your achievements at St. X and your clear dedication to exposing yourself to a new language and culture. And I encourage you all to reflect on how foreign language will continue to be a part of your life far beyond the classroom. We all know the personal benefits of speaking more than one language, such as cognitive development and career opportunities. But as we embody the spirit of the Magis, it's important to consider how we can be of service and do more for others. And it doesn't have to be on a grand scale either. I remember one day when I was sitting in a restaurant with my mom conversing in Spanish, and a kitchen worker named Rosa, who overheard us, came up asking for help. She was brought to tears as she told us that she recently emigrated to the United States and was unable to seek medical attention for her severe vertigo due to the language barrier. And after only 10 minutes, we were able to find her a doctor and make her an appointment. And this small act for us was life-saving for Rosa and provided much-needed relief for her daily affliction. Much like Dr. Baugh, we're all in a position to make the world a better place. Maybe you enter a field like business or medicine, where your skills will allow you to engage a broader clientele. Or maybe you'll work in the government and help bridge communities across the globe. Or maybe you'll help others like Rosa, make connections and change lives for the better. Regardless, you're positioning yourself above the norm and setting yourself up to achieve in a continuously globalizing world. As I start to think about my own future career plans, I hope to use my language knowledge in the field of international real estate. Through the use of different languages, I aspire to conduct real estate deals by connecting with diverse communities and understanding different needs in order to grow towns and cities across the world. And congratulations to you all again, and thank you to the World Languages Department for inviting me to speak. And as always, Go Bombers.
我很荣幸成为传媒中文荣誉学会的会员。我愿意继续努力学习中文，了解中国文化，为世界的和平和繁荣努力。
同学们好，首先我想说，祝贺你们所取得的成绩，然后我非常的为你们开心，希望我们在接下来学习中国语言与文化的过程中，可以共同努力，越来越好，加油
Hey guys! Congratulations on being so diligent in your studies to achieve such an honor as to be inducted into Foreign Language Honor Society. Hats off to you all. 你们真棒 Go Bombers!
Promettez-vous de respecter les règles de la Société honoraire de français, de toujours agir avec dignité et charité, de continuer d'approfondir votre connaissance de français et de mon français, et de maintenir ici, à Saint-Xavier, votre excellente réputation académique.
Bonjour tout le monde, je voulais vous dire félicitations, je suis vraiment fière de vous.
Félicitations tout le monde. Congratulations everybody. Bon été. Have a great summer.
Versprecht ihr, den Regeln der deutschen Ehrenverbindung zu folgen, immer mit Würde und Nächstenliebe zu handeln, eure Kenntnisse der deutschen Sprache und Kultur zu vertiefen und eure ausgezeichneten Leistungen bei St. Xavier zu bewahren?
Hallo Schüler, ich gratuliere euch alle und ich bin sehr stolz auf euch und alle eure harte Arbeit.
Liebe Deutschschüler, ich gratuliere euch ganz herzlichst für die Annahme in der Ehrengesellschaft für Deutschschüler. Ihr habt viel gearbeitet und ich bin stolz auf euch.
Nos, Juvenes legiones classicae, hoc sacramentum dicimus, ut cultum humanitatem quae maiorum nostrorum, tam Romanorum quam Graecorum, hominibus hurius aetatis tradamus.
Salvete discipuli Latinitatis. De rebus bene gestis vobis gratulor, et in aestatem valeatis.
Benefactum!
Prometéis honrar vuestra posición como miembros de la Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica, procediendo siempre con ejemplar conducta y dignidad, aceptar y amar a vuestros hermanos hispanos, demostrar sincero interés en la cultura de sus pueblos y también de mantener vuestra elevada posición académica en este colegio de San Francisco Javier.
Muchas felicidades, éxitos por su buen trabajo.
Felicitaciones y bienvenidos a los nuevos miembros de la Sociedad Honoraria Española. ¡Enhorabuena!
Hola estudiantes, felicidades.
Hola chicos, felicidades a todos ustedes. Estoy muy orgullosa de todos y espero que pasen un verano fenomenal. Hasta luego.
Muchas felicidades a todos los alumnos de español. Que Dios les bendiga.